Hi friend, my name is Olivia Gudaniec. I help new actors break into film and TV. And obviously you're here because you watched part 1 of my audition tips, what to do, and some just helpful little tidbits before you get into the audition room. And now this is part 2. So this is when you're in the room, what I tell my clients, and it's just like a condensed list. And if you love what I'm putting out, book a one-on-one call with me through my website. Right over here. Also put it here. So it's really easy, oliviagmedia.com. I would love to help you, guide you on your first steps. You know, nobody helped me, so I am here to just give back and make sure that process is as easy for you as possible. So if you need me to hold your hand throughout, that's more than okay. Let's talk eye lines. Do you know what an eye line is? It's where you're looking when you're doing your performance. So for my new actor consults, which I have one-on-one available on my website at Olivia G Media, I offer a bonus where you guys can send me your self-tapes and I analyze the technical side of your self-tape. So I'm not judging your performance, I'm just judging the lighting, even your hair, makeup, and just giving you as much feedback as I can. And the number one thing I see consistent with all of my one-on-one consults is that the eye lines are not consistent and they're not steady, so it makes you look amateur. So this is what I mean. If I'm having an audition, I'm never looking into camera, I'm looking slightly above. And for the most part, I could do like a mental note, be like, okay, that black pole, that's gonna be my eye line. But once I start doing the scene, I'm kind of just forget about it. So what has helped me in the past is to put a sticky note, put an X, put a piece of tape on set. What they do is they do big X's or T's just so it's in a bright color, it's visible, and there's no chance of you kind of just looking like here a bit and then here, because that could be two separate people. And that is the number one thing I want you guys to master. So set up a new actor's consult with me and let me take a look at what you're doing. Fill the frame. Actors that dominate auditions are usually the ones that know how to work the room, fill the frame. You don't want this much headspace. You know what I mean? You don't want to be totally at the side. You want to be the focus of the scene, especially in audition. And in auditions, they're usually going to put you in a medium shot, medium close-up. You are welcome to ask the camera operator when you're in the room, just so you can give the best performance. Another thing I could suggest is learning about different framing sizes, and that happened for me from filming my own content. Now that I have different lenses, I know what they kind of see, because you definitely do not want to be showing all your tears when it's like a bird's eye point of view. You want to be doing that and saving that juiciness for the extreme close-ups. And that only comes from knowledge of framing sizes. And if you want to work in film and TV, that's definitely something I suggest looking into. If you want me to make a video on that, kind of breaking it down in simple terms, let me know in the comment box below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up so I know to keep creating more content like this. Let's talk about the moment before. As an actor, you know that you need to figure out and set up your surroundings so you know what happens right before your dialogue starts. And that gives you some extra ammunition, you know what I mean? What I like to do is I usually just start by thinking about my surroundings, my objective, I turn into frame and I kind of go. Another tactic I use is if I'm starting, let's say I just take a step into it essentially. So audition start. That was very dramatic, but you know what I'm saying, you know? So I'm not just like standing here saying my part. There is some little bit of movement to just, you know, spice things up. You are a professional. You gotta do what you gotta do to stand out. You may be tempted to warm up right before you get in, but once you're in that waiting room and in the audition room, I do not want you to warm up in front of them. You need to be ready to go. Time is money. This is a business. So I want you to give yourself a hug before you get in there. I want you to stretch it out over there. Do what you gotta do. Take a kickboxing class. Do some vocal warm-ups. If you need ideas, I can make a video on that. But Do not do it when you're in the room. Please, 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 please. You only get so much time to make a great first impression. I want to briefly just touch on pacing for your script, especially in television. I want you to do your research in the sense that, is it a 30-minute episode? Is it a 1-hour episode? You are not taking 5 minutes to get through one paragraph. Nobody's got time for that. It's all about impressions. Do your research on the genre, pay attention to pacing, and I'll leave that for now. Redirection. You better believe that that's gonna happen for you during your audition. I mean, sometimes they just say, thank you, great, but if they liked your performance, they wanna see more of you, they will redirect you. So a tip that I like to do is when I'm practicing my auditions is I like to practice with as many different people and voices as possible. So I'll ask my dad, my mom, my sister, my boyfriend, whoever is available and has the capacity to help me. Because I find that each person, A, reads it differently, and B, it really makes me focus because the way they react, their tone, if I'm thrown off, that equals to me that I don't know my stuff. So that is a tip that I have found extremely helpful. I don't want you to be thinking about the lines, because when you're thinking about the lines, it's not coming across natural, and they want you to be real human beings. They do not want you to be acting, right? You want to be personal, you want to be natural, and that happens from putting in the time, the prep, knowing your stuff. So if I'm telling you right now, let's say you have an audition, be like, hey Olivia, could you please sing your first line and then go into your dialogue? If you can't do that, that's a way that they can throw you off. I mentioned that example because it's happened to me and I blanked. Even though I knew the script left, right, and center, I panicked. So I want you to practice in different scenarios. So you could be on the phone practicing with a girlfriend, then let's say you're visiting your mom and she's cleaning. I want you to clean with her and do the dialogue that way, because that's another way to keep yourself busy with motions to test yourself if you really know the lines. So in a nutshell, redirection is gonna happen and I want you to be prepared, and how you prepare is by putting yourself in different situations while you're practicing your lines. Yeah. I think I got that out good. If that's making sense, give me a thumbs up. And if you have any more questions, hit me down as usual in the comment box below. When you have an audition, I know how exciting it is and you just want to chit chat and extend your time in the room. But I'm gonna say this once. They don't want any hugs. And for the most part, they don't even want handshakes. They just want you to come in and do your job. So all that extra stuff, you just don't need it. Let's talk mindset. Do you believe in you? Because if you don't believe in you, it's gonna be really hard to convince others to hire you to do the same. You become what you feed your mind. So I wanna make sure that what you're telling yourself before an audition, after audition, during an audition is positive words, because your mind is listening and your mindset is so important. What I like to do before an audition is the night before, I write little affirmations in my notebook and I treat it as if it's already happened. So I say, thank you so much, Olivia, for a great audition. You killed it. They gave you great feedback. Good job. These act as little words of encouragement. They help you, they help your mind, your mental health, and I just want you to try it out to see if it makes a difference. If it doesn't, you've spent what, 2-3 minutes writing some positive words. I don't see any harm in that. So I want you to try it. If it works for you, you're welcome. In order for me to feel super grounded and confident, I know I need to show up early. I do not want to be worrying about parking. If I don't have a pen, am I gonna have time to sign in? Then I have to go to the washroom. So I show up early just so I can sit in that room, go over my lines once or twice, and then I know I'm ready to go. Everyone's gonna have a different process, system. That's what works for me. So the whole goal of all of this is a journey, and you need to figure out what works for you. And I do not mind sharing my tips and my strategies. And a lot of those can be found in my New Actors Workbook. So if you go to oliviagmedia.com, the workbook is available to help you develop a plan. So you have a system to reference every time you have an audition, and just to get the plan of your career going, because you're in it for the long haul and this is a commitment. Let the drama go. Before you step into that audition room, even get into the waiting room, I want you to do your best to just pause that or release it. So whatever you need to do for you, that's the time to do it, because you need to focus. You have gotten an incredible opportunity, and you do not want it to be affected because you're thinking about car issues, because you're thinking about a bad grade. When you're in the audition room, you're not thinking about any of that. And if you are, your objective and your need and the prep work hasn't been properly done because you're distracted. And when you're distracted, that's when you start forgetting lines. If it's happened to you before, reach out to me in the comments. I want to hear about it. I've definitely got my own stories and my own versions of that as well. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I appreciate you. If you have questions, comments, you know I'm here for you. I'm accessible. Reach out to me on Instagram. Reach out to me on TikTok. My handle is the same throughout. It's my full name, Olivia Gudaniec. And I'm just so proud that you're putting in the time and the energy to do your research and invest in your dreams. So good for you. I'm rooting for you. And I'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in and watching. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. If you haven't already subscribed, do so you can hit the bell and be notified every time I post a video.